Hey everybody, this is part 3 of what I would call, guess I don't have a name for it exactly. It could be called anything, it could be called nothing. Really, words don't describe what's beyond syntax. We use words and they don't describe actual features, phenomena, or higher purpose for the most part on this planet. And that's not gods, that's us, and the way they speak to us and what they dictate down to us. And I'm not going to say making these videos is hard. Some parts are hard, but we're really made to be so trivial, and that's not even the word I'm looking for. We're made to be petty and to it's like a word for somebody that sees something bad or something hits them hard, and one minute it affects them, the next minute it doesn't. Or you only want what you want. You get in line at the store, you get your stuff, you get out. You don't care if there were people there, you don't remember them, you don't remember what they look like. And then you don't even care about this shit you got. I mean, you may, let's say you go into the store, it's a binge night on food like soda, cupcakes, or the stereotypical way we say that we do things when we're not caring about stuff, and we're just trying to feed an urge or a addiction or something of that nature. And that's the way the gods like us right now. In fact, because then you're not thinking, you're only responding to a bodily sense, which actually drops your energy down in the energy vessel so they could take over your body. And when they do this, they're not fighting a war for you. And I'm going to make that clear. They're not fighting. If they were fighting a war for us, we would know it, because we wouldn't be so ignorant on this planet. And I'm saying this to put us all down here, because I do live on this planet, and I may know a little bit more about this than most people here. But it takes a long time to grow a civilization, and the gods did it in 5,000 years, and they made it so ugly and dirty. It's like the skankiest woman you've ever seen. It's like the dude, ladies, that you wouldn't want to ever meet in that way. And if you think of somebody, that person exists, and it doesn't have to be the one that everyone thinks is worse. It's the one you know is the worst for you. And that's the way the gods keep all of us. And a lot of people, the whole planet, in fact, didn't get to see it. That the stuff that's gone down here, and the stuff that was planned for thousands of years, and maybe even longer than that, because the gods are aware that once this cloning process and all this stuff went on with the lower material beings, that they would fight a war this way, and they would subject beings that they say were their own kind, or maybe they never chose to accept us in that way so they could abuse us. Because I'm telling you, they would not do this to their own kind. Even if it was possible, they wouldn't do it. So that just tells you how much they really care for us. Never say you love gods or aliens. They don't want you to anyway. They love it when we just disbelieve everything and don't have the time to examine it or make it a matter. And if you do, it's going to crush your brain to think about it. And then you'll just go on and forget about it, because we know the intent of forgetting. So I'm showing part of this page here called the keys, and I wrote this down. I don't know if I copied this or if I wrote it down myself. If I did get it myself, it was probably I wouldn't say an intent. I would say it's something to do with consciousness. In order to offset the nefarious effects of movement, the body of a seer must become aware of the disabling effects of movement on the energy field or the light body. So a lot of these people that are becoming aware of this is something that's going to happen to you. A part of you, an invisible part, which is the light body, which is a round sphere, the gods will take that over and they're going to occupy it. And you're going to believe you're just a material being. The light part of you is a part that they're going to occupy. That's your right. That's your birthright, really, that's been stolen. That part of you is a part that they're going to take over. This happens to me all the time right here. There's no law that could defend it for me. There's no way to change it. And the total awareness of it is a killer. It's a mind killer. It's a body killer. It's just a straight up son of a bitch. That's what happens to a lot of these channels nowadays too. I don't like to talk about them because they're all into light and love. And they don't get their asses beat a lot. And they think that the rewards they get from the gods, which is a higher energy level, but it's not even a way that's proper for the body. It has nothing to do with your... Things are supposed to accumulate in a way that is supposed to be to your own internal growth, so that you become more aware of what it is you're doing and how to do it. All these channels get is how to receive more channels and a little bit like one info on how to hold your body, what type of food to eat. I'll tell you right now, the what type of food you eat doesn't matter. As long as you don't oversaturate yourself with any one thing, you're fine. If you have a disease, it was caused by the gods in the first place, because no being is supposed to have disease. That's a malady on this planet only. In other planets, they don't really have diseases. You have to really do something wrong to get a disease. And even the governments right now on this planet keep the status quo of what the gods insisted is to feed us junk food all the time and even lower the quality, and to have overrun this planet with 9 billion people. So in this way you see there is no way out of this, but there is the way of denying the gods their right to rule and run you, and to know, just by knowing your rights, you have the rights. Knowing is what you know. It's not what you thoroughly believe you know. If you know it inside yourself in a way that you don't have to remember it all the time, it's almost like your instinct. If you got your instinct and you know it's true, then you do know. You see what I'm saying? Like, we get confused in society when people say, how do you know I did this? How do you know I didn't do that? Well, if you know, you know. You don't have to go and prove it or disprove it. The answer could come out, the answer could not come out. They could try to conceal it even more. So that's all I'm saying about that. Then next I wrote down, the energy body moves at a different speed than the physical body. People confuse lapses of time due to the thought, but what they're really enticing is the energy body. So when we're trying to get these channels, what we're really trying to do is get our energy body. And that's what we're supposed to be cultivating. And that's what is supposed to be our natural path. Not to just hand it over so that we get to the energy body. Then the gods send us a little pebble. You know, it's like something you're supposed to eat, like a little healthy bean. It's more like a little piece of turd is what it really is. If you really wanted to call it something, that's what it would be. Because it's not worth shit. It's not worth it. You're supposed to get what I talked about in this first sentence. Growing that light body, and what I was discussing right before that also. This path that was set up before us is purely part of the experiment. And a part of a broken command of what real life is supposed to be. We weren't supposed to be created to be a vessel for a god to do this and that with. The possibility of life is supposed to be to grow and nurture. Not to defend somebody else's low energy level. Maybe they didn't fuck enough. Maybe they didn't have enough kids. Maybe they don't have enough people to cover that energy field they're talking about. Maybe that's true. Who knows? Maybe they don't collaborate in the right ways with other beings in other galaxies of their own kind, which won't come to their aid to help in this matter and stop this matter. Maybe the gods went too far in creating the experiment in the first place by trying to say they're defending their own but breaking some rule. They are breaking a rule. They're just trying to do it in a way like I did something wrong, but I didn't know it was that wrong. They do know. And by promising us something later and denying us, they're breaking that rule again. They broke their own rule. Or the rule they're supposed to really abide by. They're just trying to lie about it. By apprehending this phenomena with fear, respect, wide awake, and in awe, and doing so with perceiving a definite end, since the only real end we know is the end of the Nawal, which is the abstract nature we are aware of, the abstractness of the universe being put into some context and still remaining abstract. And in that imperceivable end, beyond comprehension, we should approach the matter as not matter, or until we know this is a matter. Meaning we are living in an illusion and they feed us down through the illusion. And that's a part of the truth of this nature again. See, the gods live in a reality where energy flows and they attune to the energy and they work with the energy and they're empty and the energy passes through them. And whatever their vessel is attunes to letting the energy pass so they may live. And it extends their life. And I can't really go too into depth of that. That would take more time than I believe I even have to discuss it. And I still wouldn't be able to put it into words. But what I'm trying to say is like, okay, the sun stays where it is. It burns its energy at a certain rate. All the planets around it do so. If it had a major burst, it would destroy itself and then it would be no more. So it uses the energy it has to sustain its life in a healthy way for as long as it can. But we don't have that because we were created in a place where our energies don't affect the universe. But I'm not saying we're not part of the universe because we were given that right. And to live in a symbiotic way with the beings that are supposed to be above us and watching out for us, and which have dropped the ball on purpose, and they're going to try to pick it up again in a couple thousand years and act like it never happened. And what our vessels don't do is live in that reality. Therefore, it's created an illusion. Since the gods don't want us so close to them, they separate themselves from us and say we're not doing this, we're not doing that. And they create this difference within us until it becomes illusion. Now everybody's familiar with the illusion because you're immersed in it totally. Reality is what we're not aware of. And whenever one of those people say, I had that awake moment in my life, everyone is supposed to be promised that. I'll tell you again, my friends, everyone is supposed to be promised that. Everyone should have that moment. Whether you say, even if you say no, just remember I just said you were supposed to. That's what it was supposed to be. That's what you're denied and you should be angry about. Everyone should have that. Okay. And perceive the seriousness and of the actual inconceivable event. We can't even fathom the totality of what's happening here on this planet. And even after watching this video, if you believe in any of this, it's going to take a lot. You should believe in Israel. But even after watching it, if you take yourself back into the illusion and lose yourself there, it doesn't matter. You should believe in this video anyway, or in the knowledge that's being spread. Even if it, it shouldn't cost you your life, but it may crush your idea of what life's supposed to be, because these events are this profound, and that's why these gods all lie to us, because they did this and then they try to make it seem like they're not doing nothing. They're not supposed to do that. It shouldn't crush you. That we are able to get a glimpse of the world beyond what we normally perceive as possible and conceive the possibility everything is here and it's even more than we conceived. That's what life is supposed to be for us. Not the glimpse. A glimpse is more than just a mere flicker of the eye. It's called a flicker of the eye because when you think back about it, it seems like a smaller event. But it should actually be a full glimpse into something inconceivable. And that's what a lot of this should be. That full glimpse that a small being, a small light like us should